I hate to tell you this, but people will simply not like you because you chose to live a more peaceful life instead of putting up with their nonsense. People will become jealous and envious and hate on you for choosing a life that they themselves don't even want. There are some people who see you living a peaceful life, see you living an unbothered life, see you existing and thriving and doing all the things you set out to do, and they envy that, even though they don't make the choices that make for a peaceful life. They get upset with you because you did not choose the way of messiness. Many people we know have chosen the way of most resistance. They have chosen the way that is always going to keep them stuck, always going to keep them in drama, always going to keep them fighting, always going to keep them arguing, always going to keep them in unhealthy relationships. And simply because you chose the path of common sense, they will not like you. There are some people, all they know is anger, chaos, violence, drama. It's so deeply ingrained in them that they feel like they cannot get out. But if you were in the same type of environment as them and somehow managed to get out of that, they will not like the fact that you wanted to do something different than what they say you're supposed to be used to. All because people often take pride in the most dumbest, foolish, messiest things. Have you ever heard somebody brag about being from the most dirtiest, dustiest, crime-ridden, violent part of your town or your city? Have you ever heard people brag about being a part of different illegal activities as if that is some kind of badge of honor? Some people have such a low-level mentality that they take pride in filth. And when you don't take pride in filth, when you know where you came from, but you don't glory in it because you know there was nothing good there. There was a lot of drama. There was a lot of chaos. There was a lot of tension. And you broke free from that. God delivered you, might we say, from that. You chose to walk away. And because they're still in it to make themselves feel good and to try to make you feel bad, they have to so-called amplify where they are. Yeah, my feet are always in the paint. I work hard for everything I got. Yeah, I don't have money like that, but I got this, I got that. They glorify struggle. They brag about nothingness. But because you chose to live in a more peaceful environment, because you're around people who have healthy mindsets, who actually want peace, want unity, want community with one another. They don't want to constantly bicker and fuss and fight and argue. You have healthy communication. Nobody's out there ready to fight at the drop of a hat. People will be jealous of you and hate you because of that. If you're not a woman who is so easily triggered by what other people say and you don't care about what they say, some of your ghetto family members will not like you because let's just say what it is. A lot of our friends and family members are very ratchet, very ghetto, very street mentality minded. And if you are not the street mentality minded kind of person, you will absolutely have issues with people who still think that way. And I don't care what anybody says. If you're past the age of 25 and your first option when you have a conflict is to go fight somebody, that is very ratchet, that is very low-level ghetto behavior that you need to overcome. Feminine, classy, leveled up women and men, for that fact, do not do things like that. But you will have people that don't like you simply because you're not ready to fight at the drop of a hat. That is a problem. When you choose peace over chaos, people will absolutely treat your normalcy as if it's abnormal because they're not used to it. That's like a person who lives in a dirty environment and they come into someone's home and it's very clean and very pristine and things are put together, but they're used to living in filth. They're going to come in your house and say, dag, it don't even look like nobody live here. Do y'all live here? Dag, everything in place. Y'all don't even look like y'all sit on them couches. All because their walls are dirty, their mattresses are dirty, and they're probably laying on the floor. I just have to say what it is. Because you know, if you've been watching this channel any amount of time, I like to give you as much transparency as possible. I have dealt with people who live in absolute filth. But yet when they have met me or come into my home or come into my environment, say little things, take little pot shots. Oh, do you even use those dishes? Oh, do the kids, they don't even do that? Do they do this? All because they live in filth. Dirty is clean to a dirty person, and clean is dirty to a dirty person. A person who lives in filth, anything that's normal is considered abnormal to them. If you and your spouse, you and your husband, you and your boyfriend aren't constantly running around going at each other violently, always trying to cut, you don't have that love hurts mentality, because that's another ghetto ratchet mentality that many people who are filled with toxic energy, negative energy, and chaos, all they know is violence in the hard way. They will be upset with you and be jealous of your healthy relationship, because if they're not chasing their man down through the streets, it doesn't count. But if you're at the supermarket with your man, you're corny. Oh, he probably cheating on the side. You're boring. You got to spice it up a little bit. Women who live in chaos and drama and have unhealthy communication with men, unhealthy relationships, they think that love is supposed to hurt. They think that everything is supposed to be a battle. That if you're not constantly at odds with another woman over that man, then he's not worth anything. That's very toxic, unladylike, might I say, and unfeminine and just stupid behavior. But to a jealous, negative, toxic person, your healthy relationship will be looked at as boring and not worth having. I'm just trying to get you to understand the absolute, might I say, backside backwards way that jealous, miserable people think. They take pot shots at things that are absolutely normal and healthy. And you, as you continue to level up and grow in your understanding, and you might become a little bit more conservative in your views, you might become a little bit more mindful of how you present yourself to the world. To a person who is accustomed to living at such a low level, they're going to look at you as if you have sold out, especially if you're a Black woman. Anytime a Black woman wants to get away from the crabs in the barrel, and she doesn't want to be associated with everybody that's doing the exact same thing and the same type of toxic mentality and relationships. And this goes for all women, but I speak specifically for us because there tends to be a lot of crabs in a barrel mentality when it comes to these different cliques, especially with the uprising, the popularity of the reality TV programs. Many people are looking at all Black women as if we are that, and we are not. Not all women stay in unhealthy relationships. Not all women are constantly fighting over the same man amongst 3 and 4 different women. Some women know their value, know their worth, and refuse to put up with the dusty for longer than they have to. But when you do that, the original point, there will be some people who don't like it. I remember when I met my husband, and I met my husband in a different state than where I'm from. I was living in New Jersey and he was in Pennsylvania. I met him in Pennsylvania. And a lot of the men that I associated with in my immediate neighborhood, they didn't understand, oh, so were we not good enough? They were the local substance dealers, those kind of people I would see every day. Very okay people, not relationship material, but okay people. And, oh, we not good enough? Oh, you can't even formulate a sentence and you want me to talk to you? And I just have to say what it is. And that's not putting down anybody's educational level. It's the fact that some people choose to be low level in their thinking and what they choose to accomplish. And there will be some people, because you didn't choose a substance abuse dealer and you wanted to be with somebody who was considered more straight and narrow, people will make fun of that. People will be jealous of you, but because their jealousy is uncontrolled, it'll come out in the form of little jokes, little sarcastic remarks. Oh, you got that nerd. Yeah, I used to hear things like that. Oh, you with a nerd now. Oh, you with a church boy. And these kind of things. Oh, well, you with the holy man. Absolutely. And I have no drama. We have our issues. We've had our issues. Absolutely. But I'm not chasing him down. He's home at the time he's supposed to be home. And we don't have those kind of issues. And I'm not saying that to be braggadocious. I'm saying that to give you a real life experience of the things that I've heard when people are jealous of the fact that you choose better. And your better doesn't have to be like top tier, you're a millionaire better. It can be simply the way you think. You can think that, you know what, I don't need anybody in my business all the time. I don't feel like I need to constantly run to this person, run to that person for help. And people will hate you and dislike you simply because you no longer need them. Some people get a kick out of feeling like without them, you're nothing. But then when you show them that without them, you're still surviving, you're still existing, you're still doing what you know to do and better, they're not going to like you. They're going to be triggered and they're going to become haters because they will not be able to fathom how you can maintain without leaning on them, even though the so-called help they offered you was oftentimes very toxic and very harmful. Anytime somebody offers to help you, but they do it so they can brag to other people about how they're helping you and put all your business out there for people to know, that is not help. That is someone who is preying on your downfall. That is somebody who is jealous of you, and they know if given the opportunity that you would absolutely probably do more than what they're doing. You would probably accomplish a whole lot more than what they're accomplishing. But when you were leaning on them, they kind of had control over that. And when you take that control away, they become a hater. I'm telling you, I know exactly what I'm talking about. So as leveled up feminine women, you have to be mindful and understand we don't care about jealous people. I repeat, we do not care about jealous people. We don't care about their tricks. We don't care about their little triggers. We don't care about their little remarks. But I bring attention to these things so that you're aware of it. So when you encounter it, it doesn't throw you off. It doesn't make you confused. It doesn't cause you to suddenly scale back and wonder if you should kind of try to blend in. Don't blend in with them. Don't blend in with them. And I say this in all humility. Even God wants us to be a peculiar people, which means you have to be different. And if you're being different makes you look better in the eyes of other people, but you're good with God the way I see it, so be it. Some people need to be left behind. And I always tell people, do not run back to the very thing that God delivered you from. I had to remind myself of that when it came to different work environments, when it came to different, family relationships that broke up. Sometimes God will allow, and this is not getting to a preachy message because I'm not preaching. I do not preach. I just give you my experience as a woman of faith and my real world experience. But there are some relationships that were severed, not of my own doing, but it just severed some way. And I was so much more at peace. And when those things happen and you're suddenly more at peace, it's because the person that you were so familiar with, even though they were a comfortable part of your life, they were very much toxic and bringing you down at every chance they could because they were secretly jealous of you. Why do you think somebody takes every little opportunity they can to, quote, humble you? When they want to remind you like, well, things are going great, but it could always change, stay humble. Things are going great right now, but just, be careful. When people want to put that fear and paranoia into you, it's them projecting their own insecurities. I need you to understand that. When people are fearful and afraid to make a move in their own life, it's because they're projecting their own fear and insecurities onto you. Just because they're afraid to make a move, don't let them make you afraid to make a move. And I was surrounded by people who haven't made moves in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And because of that, what they would tell me is those same fear-based, faithless things that just watch out, make sure of this, make sure of that. And some of it, depending on who it's coming from, you'll receive it because yes, caution, all of that, I understand. But when you are looking to do better in your life, you don't have time to deal with anybody's jealous-filled or hateful or miserable remarks. So just check the source, as they used to say, and make sure that whoever's giving you that opinion, whoever's warning you, make sure they're doing it from a good place. Because sometimes they're doing it from their own fear. And you cannot make moves in life if you're constantly afraid to do things. And people who are jealous, when people are jealous of you, they want to place fear into you because they don't want you to supersede them. As I've said in previous videos, they want to see you eat, just not more than them. And when people have that kind of warped mindset, and a lot of people do, They will help you to a certain point, but if you're doing too much, that's when that humble talk come in, and be careful and just watch this, watch that. And oh, I remember so and so when this happened to them. Why would you tell me about what's going on with them? I'm not them. Maybe it didn't work out for them, but it's going to work out for me. I can't tell you how many people, they did not want me to get married. They wanted me to be a single mother, and I'm not putting down single mothers. I'm saying that if you have the option not to be one, don't be one. Nobody chooses that, I believe, but I say that because the people I were around were getting pregnant left and right, and they were on their own, all grouped into the same house, and they said things to me that implied that I could do it on my own. Yes, some of those so-called girls, they will encourage you to be at the lowest level possible if you listen to them. And a lot of women, since we're on the topic of girls, they're not really girls because girls, women who actually go to bat for other women who actually want to see other women succeed in life, they encourage them to be in healthy relationships. They encourage them to work out things with the father of their children. They encourage them to get into better environments. They do not discourage them from making something work that might be beneficial to them in the future. But that's a whole different video. So people who are jealous and miserable, you have to make sure that you are not allowing them to stop you from living the kind of life you want to live, and don't allow their little remarks to make you feel bad about living a normal life. When people are jealous, they will hate on the most dumbest things. Your normal life, your peaceful life will suddenly look like some kind of joke to them, all because all they know is drama and chaos. And don't let them do that to you, okay? Keep your distance from those type of people, and just remember, all they know is drama, chaos, violence oftentimes, and that's their normal. It doesn't have to be yours, okay? Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.